So, what this presentation is meant to do and what we're going to talk about is just meant to enhance the relationship that you already have and the foundation that you've worked really hard to build, or whether you are recognizing that or it's just natural, like Elizabeth mentioned.
Yeah, so let's jump in.
Perfect. Okay, so the first play therapy skill that we're going to talk about is called tracking. And so when we utilize tracking responses, basically our goal is relationship alignment. And so it's to communicate to the child that you are understanding what they are doing or what they're going through in that moment. Even if in that moment it doesn't quite make sense to us of, well, why are they doing it? We're just tracking what we see. And so how you track a behavior is you will respond to the behavior that the child is initiating or doing by stating what you observe as the parents. So, if a child picks up a car and just picks it up, sorry, I was going a step further in my explanation, but I'll just go off the slide. So, if they just pick it up, all you have to say is, you picked that up. And so it's pretty simple. And I think that's why it can sometimes feel confusing to parents. Like, you want me to just say what they're doing? Um, but what it does is it allows the child to know that the parent is interested and involved in what they're choosing to do. And it gives them, as the child, autonomy and communicates acceptance over their actions. And so it's what it is it's the foundation to build the relationship for children, and then it'll allow them to receive the higher skills that a parent will use that we'll talk about next. Um, I'm really aware that I want to ask if you guys have questions, and I feel very limited that I can't. So if you do have questions, call me, let me know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Tracking can sound really simple and maybe something that's easy to write off, but it's actually a really helpful way when you're not really sure what's going on with your child. Maybe you're not sure what's going on with yourself. You just want to be present with them. You can align with them in relationship just by repeating what they're doing. And so, something I hear from a lot of parents is, well, that's annoying. Yeah, true. So you're still yourself. Like, you're not, you don't necessarily want to speed track what you see, but it can be just an opportunity to very simply just communicate your presence and your understanding of what your child is up to in the moment. And two, we're going to start these skills from pretty much the most basic to and go all the way through skills that are more and more challenging. So this one is a pretty foundational one, and it can help you just sort of get your feet wet and get comfortable with some of the skills that are coming up.
Yes.
So the next one is reflecting content. So the point of reflecting content is to communicate empathic understanding of what your child is communicating to you. So you're going to paraphrase the verbal expressions of your child. So your child says, I was playing outside with my friends, and then Jimmy came over, and we rode our bikes all the way down the cul-de-sac, and I was the fastest one. You can there's a lot of communication in that you can choose to respond to, but you can just say, you rode your bike outside, you saw a lot of your friends. Um, you rode your bike and you were the fastest. But you're basically just taking what the child has said and then repeating it back to them so that you both know that you're on the same page, that you heard them. It validates their perceptions of their experiences, and it helps clarify kids' understanding of themselves. So I know that that's something that I do all the time with my husband. So I'll say something to him, and sometimes I just need him to respond to just what I've said to make sure that we're on the same page. So it's something that I use in my everyday conversations in my adult relationships. And it's important because all of our perceptions can be different. So children's perceptions can be different from their parents' perceptions. And that makes sense because children's developmental level is different, which impacts the way children perceive their environment. So by reflecting content, parents are able to relate to their children, even if their experiences of a particular event were different. So it gives us just the chance to get on the same page and communicate. I see just where you are, and I understand what you're trying to tell me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I hear from parents a lot that sometimes their child tends to exaggerate an event from their perspective. And so um, it allows you to connect with your child, even if you don't see the events in the same way that they did. You're still able to just be with them without agreeing or disagreeing in how they saw their experience.
Yeah, it's a very neutral way of just acknowledging that you understand what's being communicated.
Yeah. Okay, this one is